Well, it was a very foggy morning. We were in a group, maybe 8 or 10 of us, and we were all doing sunrise photography in the Liwa Desert in Abu Dhabi. I mean, I say sunrise photography, the fog was super thick, so you couldn't see the sun at all. Not completely unheard of, but pretty rare for that to happen in the Liwa Desert. So I was just doing a lot of detail, close-up pictures, anything that looked cool in the fog, plants, textures, stuff like that. I don't really do drone photography too often. I like it a lot, but it does take some planning to find good locations, places where you're allowed to fly, especially in the US. And that includes pretty much every place with sand dunes. But I have been doing it a little bit more when I'm traveling, and even planning trips specifically to visit places where drone photography is allowed and won't bother anyone. The Liwa Desert is a great example. It's huge, it's so empty. I just wanted to do a lot of drone photography there. And also video now that I'm doing the YouTube stuff. At first, I wasn't going to. I was not going to fly in the fog because it looked too thick and I didn't think that you'd see anything from the drone. But maybe an hour after sunrise, you could see just a bit of blue sky, and I figured that it was worth flying around just to see what happened. I really didn't expect it to be good, although ironically that same morning I had joked with Nassim about the odds of getting a sand dune rising out of the fog for an epic landscape photo, right? Like, as if that's actually gonna happen. And then, hey, it just did. Complete cloud cover over the entire desert except for one patch of sand dunes in the middle. Seriously, that view from the drone was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And there was one photo specifically that I think turned out pretty well, where you can see almost the entire story of the whole morning. The one area with dunes and then just everything else clouds. I got really lucky with the way the sand dunes are kind of snaking into the background with one peak at the very back. It's not at all the type of thing that you can plan for. You just keep going out morning after morning, trying different things, and sometimes it just happens. Well, from the technical side of things, this was not a very difficult photo to take. I mean, you do have to know how to fly a drone, but that's true of any photo like this. One thing that I did make sure to do was set my drone to take a burst of 5 pictures at once. So it just goes rapid fire, one after the other. And that's because the drone that I have, the Mavic Pro 2, it's a great drone, but it has a 1-inch type sensor, which is not huge. Even at base ISO, you'll get some noticeable amount of noise. But with a burst of 5 pictures, I'm able to stack them in Photoshop and average out a lot of that noise, almost like I'd used a bigger camera sensor in the first place. So the result has pretty insane levels of detail considering the circumstances. And yeah, you never quite know how other people are gonna like the photo, and that's not really the point. I'm happy with it. I had a lot of fun taking that photo, and I guess that's how it goes. If there's more than that to photography, as someone who does this purely out of enjoyment, I'd love to know what it is.